Florida farmers are assessing the impact of Hurricane Milton, which took a toll on ag production across the state, leaving many looking for guidance on next steps for their operations. Brooks York with AgriSompo joins us now with some insight when it comes to crop insurance. Thank you so much for joining us, Brooks. And of course, as we focus on the recent hurricanes, first let's compare how storms of this magnitude are different from other types of disasters that farmers encounter.
Yeah, Tammy, I think that when we think about crop insurance, we think about maybe smaller isolated incidents. It may be a hailstorm that moves through, may affect 1 square mile. The adjacent square mile doesn't get hit. You may have localized droughts where 5 or 6 counties just happen to miss rains. That next phase is maybe something like the derechos that we saw last year in Illinois, 3 years ago in Iowa, where widespread areas, maybe a couple 100 miles, are affected. But a hurricane, to kind of put this in perspective, the claims that we've received from Helene may span 1,000 miles. And so you obviously think about the crops that are directly in the path of the storm that are impacted, but those winds and those wind claims came as far north as Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana. So it's a major geographical swath of area that's affected.
So widespread. And of course, as this third major storm exits our mainland, what can you tell us about the damage and severity of each storm in regards to the crops affected and possible losses?
So we're careful to make general statements because there's always those individual farms that your heart goes out to where there's massive losses. But it certainly looks like right now Helene is the one that's going to have the biggest impact on agriculture as far as dollars. We're still assessing the damage from Milton. Obviously a little bit smaller geographical swath as it went across Florida, and no doubt going to have major impact on the citrus growers down there and trees. But Helene, again, that 1,000-mile area, hundreds of millions of dollars, in crop losses. And we saw the direct losses maybe more in the cotton, the peanuts, the pecan market. But there were some secondary crops affected as well, a long way from the eye of that storm.
Right, definitely a lot of crops affected. Now, some of the southeastern farmers actually had claims earlier in this season due to dry weather. So how are you seeing the overall reaction from those folks that have really had a challenging year?
So, farmers are persistent, they're resilient, and we're seeing that firsthand right now. We were down there early in the year because of losses that mainly happened on unirrigated row crops due to that dryness that you mentioned. But we're seeing things, farmers, neighbors helping neighbors right now. Cotton is a tough crop once it's down to get harvested, and we're seeing a lot of farmers really, really try to get that crop out of the field. It's hard on machinery, tough to get through the machine, but we're really seeing the resilience of the American farmer through this.
They are resilient and strong for sure. That's AgriSompo Producer Services Director Brooks York. Appreciate your time today.